across the country, people turned out for No King's Day protests Saturday, a movement aimed at pushing back against President Trump and his administration.
And those demonstrations were held in all 50 states, including here in New England. Many gathered to make their voices heard. Joe Cortez with more on what people are saying and the president's response as well. Joe.
Okay, Patrick, good morning. Those No Kings protests scattered all throughout New England, from the Boston Common all the way down to the streets of Providence, where crowds showed up to denounce what they're calling authoritarian leadership. Now, a lot of the Democratic lawmakers, they were supportive of the protests that were peaceful, but President Trump had a different take on it. Now, on Saturday, we saw demonstrators walking through the streets and all around in areas like New Bedford and Portsmouth, and they had signs and chanted out against President Trump, calling for the restoration of democracy norms and accountability in the government. Now, U.S. Senator Jack Reed was among those in attendance in Providence, saying the protesters were, quote, speaking up for the Constitution, but Republicans are calling the event political theater. Rhode Island GOP Chairman Joe Powers said the protests, quote, aren't about democracy, they're about distraction, adding that citizens should know better than to be played like pawns by the political left. President Donald Trump also weighed in online, sharing AI-generated videos of himself wearing a crown and mocking demonstrators. Now, here's more from the No Kings protests and the president's response on Air Force One.
We are all so terribly upset about what's happening with this country, the way in which this president is eroding our democracy, and so it's an important time to come together as a community to make sure that we stand up loud and clear for what we believe this democracy should be about.
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. By the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Now, organizers say they will continue to hold rallies until the government ends its shutdown. We're now on the 20th day of the government shutdown. It started back on October 1st, but lawmakers will be back on Capitol Hill Tuesday. Reporting live this morning, I'm Joe Cortez, 12 News.